Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really getting into the details on something many of you might be thinking about. Buying a used Tesla Model 3.
Yeah, we've got an article here from Calpurnia News. They're talking about a video review they found over on Car Gurus.
Right, so our mission today is to sort of unpack whether a used Model 3 is actually a smart purchase.
Exactly. We're looking at reliability, cost, and the big one, battery health, after it's been driven a fair bit.
Which really leads us to the main question, doesn't it? Can you get real value from an EV that's got some miles on it? Or is it maybe a bit of a risk?
Let's see. The Calpurnia News piece kicks off with this interesting comparison. They call the Model 3 the iPhone of cars.
The iPhone of cars. Okay, what's the thinking there? What does that mean exactly?
Well, the article explains it's not really about it being completely revolutionary in every single aspect. It's more about how efficient and economical it is.
Ah, okay.
Like the iPhone, it just became super popular, very well adopted, so people kind of know what they're getting. Even used, it's a known quantity, performs well.
Got it. So reliable tech, widely accepted. Makes sense. And speaking of reliable, that CarGurus video review the article mentions, what did they find, especially about a used one?
Well, the main thing from that video, at least according to Calpurnia News, was actually pretty positive.
Oh,
Yeah, this specific used Model 3, even though it had like really high mileage, was still performing reliably.
okay, that's good to hear.
It is, because that's often the worry with used EVs, right? How long will it really last? The review suggests it can hold up and be a pretty cost-effective daily driver, even secondhand.
Right. Now let's get specific. This wasn't just any Model 3, was it? The article gave details.
That's right. It was a 2021 Tesla Model 3 long-range dual motor.
2021, so that includes the refresh.
Exactly. The updated interior, the redesigned door panels, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But here's the really eye-popping part. The mileage. About 290,000 kilometers.
290,000 in just 4 years.
Yep. Roughly 180,000 miles. The article mentions it was because it was used as an Uber. Heavy use.
Wow. Okay. That's intensive. And I guess the warranty's long gone then.
Oh, definitely out of warranty with that kind of mileage.
So the million-dollar question, or maybe the 20,000 question, the battery. How did it hold up after nearly 300,000 kilometers?
This is where it gets interesting and actually quite positive. It still has the original battery pack.
No way. Original.
Original battery. And get this, a specialist EV company checked it out and found it still retains about 90% of its initial capacity.
90%. After that kind of use, that's impressive.
It really is. So the original usable capacity was 75 kilowatt hours. 90% of that means it's estimated to have around 67.5 kilowatt hours usable now.
Huh. That's much better than I might have expected. Speaks well for the battery tech.
Definitely. Tesla's battery management, the thermal management, it seems to do a good job preserving health over time, even with heavy use like that.
Okay, so minimal degradation, relatively speaking.
Right.
How does that 90% capacity translate into actual driving range for the owner now?
Right, the practical part. So new, this car had an EPA range of 568 kilometers.
Which is often a bit optimistic, right?
Usually, yeah. Under ideal test conditions. The article mentions a real-world highway test, steady 70 mile per hour, got about 500 kilometers when new.
Okay.
Now, with the battery holding 90%, an independent report estimated the current mixed cycle range, so city and highway driving at around 400 kilometers.
400 kilometers. That's still pretty usable for most people.
Absolutely. And the new owner's actual experience, they said maybe even over 480 kilometers, so like 300 miles in warm weather if driven carefully.
Oh, nice.
But, as you'd expect, that drops in winter, down to maybe 370 kilometers or around 230 miles. So range still varies quite a bit with conditions.
Yeah, standard EV stuff there. Okay, so the battery is surprisingly solid. But what about the rest of the car? You know, seats, interior, squeaks and rattles after all that driving?
Good point. A car is more than just its battery. Calpurnia News reports that overall the Model 3 held up pretty well.
Okay.
The simulated leather seats, for example, even with daily passenger use for Uber, were apparently still in good condition.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, the interior generally was described as well-maintained. The only real complaint mentioned was some squeaking coming from the rear of the car.
Minor stuff, considering the mileage.
Exactly. Seems like relatively minor wear and tear for a car that's worked that hard. Suggests the build quality is pretty decent.
Okay. Solid battery, decent interior.
Yeah.
Now the money. Let's talk cost. The article mentioned the U.S. price from the video.
It did. In the U.S. market, the price quoted in that CarGurus video was around $16,000.
$16,000 US for a 2021 long range.
Yeah, for that specific high mileage one. And the article points out, quite fairly, I think, that for $16 K, it's tough to find another car that offers that mix of performance, comfort, and low running costs.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds like a really compelling price point, assuming the condition is as described.
Definitely a lot of car for the money over there.
But what about closer to home for Calpurnia news? The Italian market, is it a similar story?
Ah, well, here's where things differ quite a bit. It really shows how markets vary. In Italy, a similar used 2021 Model 3 long-range dual motor, you're looking at more like 23,000 to 33,000.
Okay, that's a significant jump from $16,000. What drives that range, 23 to 33,000 euros?
Mileage is a big factor. The lower end, so 23K to maybe 26K, that's typically for cars with higher mileage, say over 100,000 kilometers, or maybe private sales.
Right.
Whereas the higher end, over 30,000 goal, that's usually for lower mileage examples, maybe under 50,000 kilometers, or cars with extra features like enhanced autopilot, or if they're being sold by an official Tesla dealer.
I see. And how does that compare to buying new in Italy?
Well, a brand new Model 3 long-range dual-motor AWD starts at 48,990 in Italy, so even at 33,000 used, it's still a substantial saving compared to new.
True, but definitely a different financial picture than in the U.S. for that particular example.
Absolutely. Different market dynamics, different demand levels, probably.
So wrapping up our deep dive then, it sounds like the core message is
Right.
a used Model 3 can be a good buy, even with high miles.
I think that's fair to say. The potential is definitely there. You can get a good balance of performance, decent range still, and those lower EV running costs. But as that Italian pricing shows, you absolutely have to do your homework. Research your local market prices and really check the specific car's condition and history carefully. That U.S. price is eye-catching, but it's not universal.
Crucial advice. Okay, so here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. We know EV tech is moving super fast, right? New batteries, better efficiency coming all the time. So is buying a fairly recent but high mileage EV like this Model 3 a smart way into the electric future on a budget?
Or are there maybe hidden considerations? Things like, how much more will that battery degrade over the next few years? Or will newer, cheaper EVs make this older tech feel outdated sooner than you think? Something to mull over.
Definitely food for thought. We'll leave it there for this deep dive.